Hi, it's the Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. Let's play with the new Lancome 2023 Beauty Box. This is a purchase with purchase, which means that you need to initially spend $42 or more from the Lancome counter, and then you can add on this beauty box for an additional $79. And this year I was trying to think, what do I want? What am I going to actually use all the way to the bottom? And I found a set that has all of like some of my most loved products. So I spent $56.50 and it has a full-size Bi-Facil, it has a Hypnose Drama, and it has their mascara primer, their Cils booster. Love all three of these, have gone through multiples of this. So this made sense for me because if you were to buy each of these individually, it would be over $100. And I'm glad I could just kind of get it all in one set. So that's what I purchased to get the additional $79 beauty box. All right, I'm gonna tell you about it as I start putting it on, and I'm gonna start here with this Tonique Confort. They're calling this a full-size item. You know what's interesting is that I was looking on the Lancome website, and this 4.2 fluid ounce size, they don't sell. I think it starts at 6.7, and then they have like a really giant one, like a 13 or something ounce one. But you're supposed to, I'm gonna take the little plastic stopper off here. You're supposed to put this on a cotton round and put it all over your face. For years, I used to use nothing but Lancome skincare, like exclusively. I was like brand loyal, and this was one of those things that I never tried. And I don't know whether it was because at the time I didn't need, this is kind of suited well for people with kind of dry skin. This is also one of those things that I might be more likely to put on, like maybe just into the palm of my hand and kind of pat it in. It is very hydrating. There is a little bit of fragrance to this. That's the one thing I'll tell you. I know that a lot of these more legacy brands, yeah, they do have like a lot of fragrance in there. The value for this is about $24.44 based on like the next size up. But is this a decent size? Yeah, well, you know whether you like it by the end. Yeah, it's definitely not like a deluxe size or a sample size. This is a generous size, but this is not one that they regularly sell. All right, from there, I'm gonna throw on some of the advanced Genifique. I used to use this all the time, and what stopped me from using it was just the price. I used to use Lancome all the time before children, and then after I had kids, I was like, money's going out the door in so many places, so I had to economize on what were my daily luxuries, and this is one of those. This serum right here is a full size, and it goes for $88. And this is one of those products that with long-term use helps to reduce the signs of fine lines. It's very hydrating. I don't know that I'm smelling, I don't know if it's fragrance or if it's ingredients. It really doesn't have much of a, no, it's a fragrance. I was gonna say it doesn't really have much of a smell to it, but I would say it's not like floral. Sometimes Lancome products, because they use rose extract and a lot of things can smell floral. This doesn't, this has a very light, and I would say kind of spa-like scent, but it instantly like absorbs into my skin, and I'm already starting to feel like a little bit bouncier. I definitely needed to get some skincare on. I was like, oh my goodness, my skin is dry. Next thing I'm gonna put on is the Advanced Genifique Eye Cream. This is a full size. This is the half ounce, which is their full size. Ooh, yeah, it's very, I'll just use what's on the back of this cap here. This is one of those products that I used to use all the time. And I sometimes when I go through and I get the beauty box and I get back into using these products, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that I really like this. But at $79 for an eye cream, that's usually more than what I am comfortable paying. I always liked it. I feel like it's got some thickness to it, but it's not too heavy. I feel like it sinks in really well. I feel like it does a good job of like hydrating without being overly greasy. And there have been other times that I've used eye creams that are a little too emollient that'll end up with milia or those little tiny white spots underneath the eye. And I'm glad that this never caused any milia for me. This is supposed to kind of smooth out your fine lines and kind of help to target the dark circles. I have never, every time, you know, a brand says, well, get rid of your dark circles, I'm like, really? I've never found an eye cream that has diminished the, if you know of one, let me know. Because like, I always feel like my dark circles, the older I get, the darker they get. Okay, fine. What I'm really looking for is hydration under the eye and to make sure that it works well underneath makeup. And I feel like this one really does. So the next product in the set is from the Absolue line. This is the Absolue Soft Cream. A full ounce of this goes for $150. They're giving you a half ounce size in here. They don't sell this size usually, so this is valued at $75, but it's one of those that I have never tried. This is what it looks like. I feel like the more I'm, putting it on, the more of the rose fragrance that I'm getting from this. If you are not a fan of like rose scents, you may not like this. It's not as like heavily rose scented, but I feel like because Lancome really does use a lot of rose extracts in their skincare, I feel like that's where this is coming from. I don't know that it's necessarily like an artificial rose fragrance, but there is definitely a scent to this. This cream is supposed to hydrate, to brighten, to help soften fine lines. It's supposed to help with wrinkles, dullness, dryness, uneven skin texture, and uneven skin tone with continued use. My skin just feels so, I forget sometimes how like these kind of more legacy brands, the skincare feels just a little bit heavier than what I'm used to. I can definitely feel it on my skin. And I don't know that that's a bad thing. I feel like over the last several years, I'm using things that are just a little bit lighter, and maybe I put too much on, but I didn't really feel like I grabbed that much for like, my neck, my chest, and my face. But I definitely feel like I have a face cream on. This set also comes with a full size of the Bi-Facil. This is one of my most beloved cleansers. It's kind of like a makeup remover. I wouldn't really say it's a cleanser, but do you see how there's like two layers right here, and as you kind of it almost feels like one of those like lava lamp situations. But I love this so much. It's a bi-phased eye makeup remover, which is great for eyeliner, for mascara, for things like that. This will take off like a liquid lipstick that is like budge proof. This is great for that. I go through at least 2 if not 3 of these a year. Love these so much, which is why I did this. This to me is what I've dubbed unicorn tears. It's like magical. It can do anything. I love it so much. So you want to give it a shake. And then you can put it out over like a cotton pad, hold it over your eye if you're wearing a full eye look, for maybe 5-6 seconds, and then gently start to massage, and you're going to be able to get off the bulk of your eye makeup that way. And that's what I love about this, but you do have to give it a really good shake. Here's my other one. Look, we're almost out. I love this stuff. You're also getting a deluxe sample of their fragrance, Vie Est Belle. And I have liked this fragrance since it came out. I've gone through multiple 1 ounce sizes. I've had a couple of purse sprays. I really like it. I like that they, I think my teenage daughter is probably gonna grab this and like make off with it. She likes the scent as well. And since I'm still working through my full size, I'll just tell you, I think that this is a great way to let you try a fragrance, and it's a little bit easier than, sending out like one of these little samples. Although these have like the spray mechanism on them, which is so nice, but you're not getting very much in here. And I feel like this kind of adds a little bit of luxury ribbon detail. The glass bottle kind of gives you a little bit more of the fragrance experience, but you do have to kind of, and dab it on. But I like this. Everything else that comes in this holiday beauty box is makeup, and I'm gonna need to get a little bit of a base down first before we can continue. I'll be right back. I'm gonna start with the face and eye palette that they include in this set. It comes in really nice cardboard packaging. I like that. It does have a full-size mirror, and it does fold flat if that is important to you. It's always satisfying. I always enjoy doing that. What's interesting about this palette is, aside from getting like a blush, you have 2 different sizes of eyeshadows. You have the larger ones and you have the smaller ones at the bottom. But what's really intriguing to me is that there's 3 different weights for these 2 different pans. I thought it was really interesting, and it could be that some of the ingredients in some of these actually weigh a little bit more, so they might fit into the same pan, but the weight might be different. If you're going based off of price, the 5-pan Hypnose eyeshadows from Lancome, the 5-pan ones, are $60. And if you base it off of weight of what they charge for that, price per ounce is real high. It's in the $400, and you're getting 0.22 ounces here. The eyeshadows alone are about $94. And then the blush here, it's a little bit smaller than a full-size blush at $33. So this right here is valued at $25. So together, like all the products in this palette are about $119.94 based off of what Lancome charges for full-size blush, full-size eyeshadow. But I feel like the colors are really pretty. I like that. I can't wait to dip into it. I think I might swatch these before I apply them. Normally I apply them and then I swatch them, but I want to know what they look like. Just so that I know what I want to use. Here are the eyeshadows. There's only 4 mattes in here, and that means there are 6 either satins or more metallic shades. I feel like the bottom row that's a little bit with the smaller pans definitely leans a little bit cooler. We've got a little bit more warmth through the ones across the top, but I feel like you've got some ability to build some depth with this burgundy shade and this dark brown. I really like this kind of taupey shade here, but I feel like they went kind of in a safe place with some of these more metallic, warmer tones in the top row. I'm gonna start with this shade here. It's a little bit metallic and it's a little bit champagne-y. And I'm gonna start by putting that like right here in the inner corner and then kind of sweeping it across the lid. I remember the years when I was like so brand loyal. Lancome was like my favorite. I started out as a Clinique girl, and you know, my early teens at 14 when I went to get makeup for the first time, my mom took me to the Clinique counter. And then at the time I was in late high school, early college, I started purchasing at the Lancome counter and getting stuff while it was in gift and kind of trying different things. And by the time college was over, I was 100% a Lancome girly. Like, skincare, even when they had nail polish, like I used to wear the Lancome nail polish. My favorite scent at the time in the mid 90s was Poem. Like I had all the things and I loved it so much. So this sort of a gift box is very nostalgic to me, even though I have very little Lancome makeup these days. I'm gonna go into this matte shade here. Maybe I should have started there. And I'm gonna put this in the crease. I always try when I'm trying eyeshadow formulas I'm not used to using to use my best tools. So I'm using Sonia G brushes today. And I feel like the Sonia G brushes can make anything like really good. I always think of them as little magic wands. And I feel like I'm trying to give these eyeshadows their best chance. And I know that some of these more legacy department store brands, they are definitely making a different type of product for a different type of customer. I feel like the textures are different, the pigment level is different, and I don't know that it's bad, it's just different. I'm used to something that's a little bit more pigmented and there's a little bit more sparkle, but I feel like these are specifically made with a more mature eye in mind. I like that, but I feel like these color options here are really good. I don't think I like last year's eyeshadow shades as much as I'm liking these. I'm gonna go into this one right here. This is gonna be a little bit more warm, and I'm gonna run this kind of mid crease and a little bit above. I don't want too much warmth, but just a little bit. I'm also gonna take just a little bit of that cool kind of matte taupe shade along the lower lash line. I'm not really looking for a lot of drama today, but I want just a hint of a shadow down here. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this dark brown here, tap off any excess and give myself a little, okay, I got some, some fallout. I'll have to deal with that. I hope it cleans up easily. But I want a little bit more in the outside corner here. Oh, this whisks away so easily and I'm not getting any dark smudging along the cheekbone, which is really nice. I'm grateful for that. All right, so I'm sure you could probably build these up. I'm not wanting too much intensity out here, but just a little bit more depth. I know I need to do some more blending, but give me just a sec. I'm also pulling in just a little bit of the burgundy shade here, right over the top of this brown. I think that's gonna be a nice combo. I'm gonna add on a little bit of this metallic-y kind of taupe shade over the lid. I feel like these are much softer shimmers, and these feel a little bit more powdery than a lot of other formulas I'm used to using. But again, it's one of those things where I never know whether brands like this, when they're building a holiday set, I feel the same way with Tarte or Too Faced, is the quality that they're putting in these holiday palettes the same as what they would put in a full-size palette that they would, you know, release in July. I don't know. I'm going to take a little bit of that slightly metallic taupey shade and kind of run a little bit of this on my lower lash line. And then I'll throw on some eyeliner and we'll be back for the mascara. This gift set also comes with 2 items for your lashes. One is their mascara primer, their Cils booster. I don't know how many of these have gone through. Been using it for more than a decade and I really, really like it. And their Idole mascara. So I'm gonna start with the mascara primer. I've already curled my lashes. I'm gonna grab a mirror and throw some of this on. I think the reason I keep coming back to this one, I feel like it not only boosts the look of my lashes, I get a little bit more length, but there's also a lot more volume that I get from this. I'm going to throw on a little bit of this. This is one of those that has a slightly curved wand to it. It also has one of those brushes that has really teeny tiny rubber bristles on it. So if I'm not careful, I can poke myself in the eye trying to get to the base of the lashes with this, but this formula I think wears really well. I think it's a little bit better at defining and lengthening, and I feel like there are some other formulas that Lancome has that gives a little bit more volume. So if you're looking for volume, Monsieur Big or the Hypnose Drama, I feel like those are really good. But if you're looking for a, you know, a little bit more of a quote unquote natural lash, I feel like you're gonna get it here, but you're also gonna get some really great separation. I have to usually work really hard to get lashes that are this separated. I think this is a really great formula, but I also think it has a lot to do with the brush. I feel like the eyes came out pretty good. I feel like the eyeshadows are a little on the subtle side, but if you're looking for something that's not gonna enhance texture on the lids, I feel like these are probably going to do a really good job. I know the older I get, the more texture I have. And I don't feel like, although there is some shimmer to these, they're not like wickedly shimmery. And they also don't bring out that texture. I feel like the mascara, man, I always love a Lancome mascara. I feel like there are certain brands that do things really well. And there's, I think out of all the mascaras that Lancome sells, there's only one that I don't love, and it's some people's favorite. It's the Cils. To me, it's just a really basic mascara, and I would rather get a basic, less expensive mascara, but I feel like the $30 price point for this, or this is one of 3 boxes of Monsieur Big that I have from Lancome. I always have a Lancome mascara on hand, and I almost always have one of these. I just realized we haven't dipped into the blush yet. So I'm gonna use a clean brush and I'm going to pick up some of this. This, by the way, I think is a limited edition shade. This one's called the 3 Graces. But ooh, it has a little bit of a highlight to it. So this is kind of like a light peach with a golden shimmer through there. I'm definitely getting some highlight as well as blush. This is a pretty color. I feel like it might be a little aggressive on the highlight. I would have liked a little bit more of the peach color and a little bit less of the golden shimmer. This is what it looks like. I definitely feel like this is right now on my skin acting a little bit more highlighty and a little bit less blushy. I feel like I might get in the place where I don't want to get, where it looks really metallic and emphasizing the texture if I continue to apply. I'm just going to take a minute to continue to buff this in, because what I don't want is this to look too metallic, because especially right in this area here where I would normally put blush, I have a lot of texture there. I have larger pores, I have crow's feet, and if I have something that's too metallic, I feel like what they do so well for the eyeshadows is then not to bring out the texture, but I feel like this is kind of settling and enhancing my texture just a little bit, but it's pretty. Last thing in here is the Absolue Rouge lipstick. This is in the shade Exotic Orchid. I always love the push button and how, you know, it just, so pretty, but this is what it looks like. Boy, every time I smell a Lancome lipstick, it reminds me, I used to have so many Lancome lipsticks. This is like taking me instantly back to late 20s, early 30s, and I probably had 30 or more Lancome lipsticks. The smell has not changed. I think this is a really pretty lipstick color. What's interesting to me is, like, I've always loved this Absolue Rouge packaging, you know, where you had the little push button at the top. I always like that. And I like that this doesn't come in like limited edition holiday component, like Estee Lauder's Blockbuster. Their lipsticks come in holiday packaging. This is the exact packaging you would get if you were to go to the Lancome counter or if you were to buy it from the website. I really like that attention to detail, and I feel like this color is really pretty and would suit a lot of people. If you were to buy this full price, it's valued at $35. All of the items in the bag actually have a suggested retail value of $410.49, which means that this little gold bag here is supposed to be valued at $57.57. I had something very similar like this from last year, and I realized I never reached for it. So I don't know that this is really gonna be valuable to me. One of the things that I do like, even though this bag is probably not going to get a lot of use from me, is that it is made out of recycled products. And I do see that they're making an effort to be more sustainable, because even the insert years ago, like 2-3 years ago, the insert would have been made out of plastic that holds everything inside of this bag. Now it's made out of cardboard. And I like that brands are moving towards more sustainability, things that are going to be easier, like recycling things, using recycled products, and then making sure that they're cutting down on waste overall. If you happen to be a skincare lover from Lancome, most of their face creams come with refillable pods. I know a lot of brands are doing that, from Glow Recipe to Estee Lauder to Lancome, and I think that's really, really smart. Now, if you're gonna ask me if this set is worth it, here's where I want to remind you, you cannot go to the Lancome counter or to the Lancome website and buy this set just for $79. You have to make that initial purchase of $42 before you can get this. So that's where I want to make sure that you're thinking about, do I already use Lancome products? And if I do, which ones are the ones I'm most likely to completely use up? They have some great sets right now that are value sets with skincare if you're a Lancome skincare fan, and then you get everything else in here. For me, the things that I know I'm going to use all the way up, I always do. I will go through mascara, the Bi-Facil, the primer. I'm probably also gonna use up the skincare that's in here. I normally don't buy Lancome skincare, but I get it every year when I get the box. So I do use it, but I'm not gonna go out and pay the $88 for the serum. But I think that for me, this box makes sense if there's already something that you use that would cover that $42 amount, because the rest of what you get in here is really good. And I feel like as far as the makeup goes, I know I love the Lash products, the primer, the mascara. I feel like this is actually really good. And for me, it's like this portion of it. I feel like the eyeshadows are nice. I like that we have some warmth and that we do have some coolness, and we have a couple of dark colors that'll give you some depth. I don't know that I'm in love with the blush. I mean, I probably, it's okay, but I feel like it's probably not one that I'm gonna reach back in for. But I do see myself continuing to reach for this for the eyeshadows. I feel like they're texturally really nice on my maturing lid, and I like the colors that they have in here this year. I'll probably continue to reach for this, but I don't know that this would have been the shade that I would have picked for myself had I been at the Lancome counter. Although it goes really great with the palette. I feel like the makeup in here is really good. I feel like the makeup in here is a little bit better, dare I say it, than the Estee Lauder Blockbuster. The eyeshadow palette in there was such a letdown. I feel like quality-wise, this holiday eyeshadow offering is much better than the one from Estee Lauder. But I feel like they're both very completely different sorts of sets, and they have value in different ways. Thank you so much for watching today. First of all, let me know, are you a Lancome fan? Are you brand loyal? Are there things that you only get from Lancome? Let me know. For me, it's always this. I mean, I go through it so quickly, like, and I'm glad I have another one in here. Like, this is the one thing that in the last 30 years, I've never not had some. Whether it's the tiny one that you get in gift, whatever, I've always had a bottle of this around, and when I run out, I always buy another one. So for me, just having this right here, it's like, oh, guess what? I'm getting this that big, and I'm not getting it just for this, but it kind of sometimes it seems like that though. I also always love the lash products from Lancome. I feel like they do that so well. So let me know what your Lancome favorite product is. And then beyond that, do these sorts of holiday sets make sense to you, or do you like to get them and give them as a gift? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day, and I will see you again soon.